All right, so we have an opportunistic day in the market today. We're looking at my Robinhood account, and you'll see right here, it shows we have a loss of 6%, basically $1,500, and I'm happy about that. So you guys are probably wondering, why would you possibly be happy about that? Well, if you've been paying any attention and following this daily diary for a while, you understand this metric right here, this metric right here is not what we're looking for. Okay, what we want to do, the whole purpose of what we want to do is we want to buy stocks as low as we possibly can, because the outcome is going to be, I don't know, later in the year, maybe the end of 2020, um, and to see when the economy fully recovers and we open back up, where are the stock prices? So overall, we're looking for oversold stocks, stocks that have insulation either from lobbying or infrastructure. They're the strongest competitor. In other words, if I throw, if two guys jump in the water and one of them's a Navy SEAL and one of them isn't, the Navy SEAL is going to outswim the other guy. So we're trying to find stocks that really behave the same way, and at the same time give us a lot of upside potential, but also are supported by analysts, research, and kind of the research that I go into. So with that being said, if you look at yesterday, we're going to go into our stock screener. We basically had some limit orders, 4 different limit orders right here. We had Invesco Real Estate REIT, and then again, they own the naming rights to the Denver Broncos Stadium, so they're pretty well known. We have NBLX, which I always forget the name of what that is. Let's take a look here. NBLX. Oh, Noble Midstream Partners. They're a midstream oil production company out of the Permian Basin in Texas, El Dorado Resorts, and Penn, Virginia, which does petroleum. And so yesterday we talked about really staying where we're at, keeping our limit orders where we're at, and not moving, because the market's been very, very like dead. I mean, not like a dead person's heartbeat dead. It hasn't moved really a whole lot either way. So there's no point in us moving when we don't have to. And so the idea was, if the market went up, great, we'll take the gain and see where we're at. And if the markets go down, then we have some opportunities for some scratch and dent sales down here. And so it's exactly what happened. We looked at the market, it went down today. And so it triggered 2 limit orders. The first one is El Dorado Resorts. And for those not following them, they are slated to buy Caesar's Palace. The only reason that they haven't bought them out is because the price of the market that we're following has cratered, and they are in repricing negotiations for that merger. So we put in a limit order for 1575, and it's exactly what it hit. So let's take a look at ERI. Go down to ERI. Let's pass it. Yes, I did. All right. So we'll go to ERI, and we'll go to PVAC, Penn, Virginia. So we put, for ERI, we put a limit order of 1575. So if it goes down to 1575, we'll buy it. And guess what it did? So if you look today, it went down to 1535. So it went down there. We triggered the limit order at 1575, and it's already way back up to 1640. So we're making some money on that today. And then, although that really doesn't really matter all that much, and then PVAC, Penn, Virginia, we wanted to give a limit order. I think it was at 350 before, $3 before. We bumped it up at 4 because it has a pretty good margin, great research, and they're really well insulated against a lot of things that other their competitors are doing. So we bumped it up to $4 per share. So if we go to there for the day, they got down to pretty much $4. It didn't show that there, but went down to $4, triggered our buy at 4. It's already back to 431, and we are in the money. So we made some money there. So overall, everything is looking good. Yuko, which is our little flyer, and we're going to talk about that in a second. That one had the highest upside of any stock that we have on our tracker. I decided to throw some money on it. It went down a little bit today. Not a real big deal. So we're in the hole 320, but we have a lot of upside. So this is our little wild child. our red-headed stepchild, and we'll see where that goes. So with that being said, we can delete these two. Oops, back up here. Delete these two out, and we'll talk about our candidates. Again, I just went and updated all the stocks in my Robinhood account. And we can take these out because these were, actually that was a limit order, so we'll take that one out. Turn this one green. All right, and then we just sorted all that information from the prior sheet, sorted by upside. So Yuko, our red-headed stepchild, still at a 9-to-1 ratio, which is awesome. So you think, let's buy some more, but it's my red-headed stepchild. I'm going to hold off on that and see where that goes. There's no reason to overly invest. There's not a whole lot of information on that, positive or negative, out there. So I'm just going to hold. We're not going to do anything. The next highest one up is IVR, which right now, if we look at our holdings, is pulling in a 25% return. We bought it at 290 as our cost basis. It's at 364 right now. So we have a limit. If it goes down to $3, which might happen, it'll trigger a limit order, and we'll get into that. Beyond that, we have a couple stocks that are doing decently. NBLX, it's our second little red-headed stepchild. I'm only going to buy it if it goes down to 350. Got it down to 418, so you never know. If the market goes down, it might trigger that tomorrow. It has 0 buys, recommendations from analysts, but that doesn't mean anything. It means nobody's buying, but nobody's selling. All 100% of them are holding it, which just means it's neutral. So there's no news either way, so we're not moving on it unless we get it on our terms. Beyond that, the numbers really aren't super great. There's nothing really to jump out at me. The only one I noticed when we look at analyst ratings for buys, the only one high is ERI, but we just bought that. And here's the other one, CEQP, which is Crestwood Equity Partners. And that one we're doing okay. If we look at the holdings on that one, we have it at a 501 cost basis. And this is at 640, so there's no reason to increase the cost basis unnecessarily. Now, if we were to go in, and really at this point, there's nothing, we don't have any other limit order buys happening here. So at this point, we go into Robinhood and we want to take a look at who the big movers are. So we'll close those two out. And you're looking for big negative movers. So I don't really care about the positive movers. We go down, we have IVR going down 11, Crestwood Equity Partners at 12, almost 13. Yuko went down 12, and PVAC went 14, but we didn't own it when it went down to 14. So we took a little bit of that loss. We didn't have to actually take it, and we bought it low. So with that being said, things that are on our watch list that we don't own yet. Is there anything normal? Seems like they're all really small. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, 4, 7. They're all single digits. 4, 7, 3, 6. We have 18. So we'll take a look. Oh, Akagi, that's the one. They own British Airways and Lufthansa. I can tell you right now the ratio of that isn't all that great. I can tell you it's right near the bottom. Where is it? Yeah, it's near the bottom at under a 3-to-1 ratio. So not interested in that. It's got to drop a lot farther if we're going to consider buying it. This one up 9. Noblex went down 16. That's fine. Still on our radar. Beyond that, is there any other? All of them are really small. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of movement, so there's no reason to move any farther. So right now, this is where we're standing. We're basically earning 12%. This is a misleading figure because we just bought PVAC, so that dilutes down the overall earnings because it's new, and ERI's earnings got diluted because it's new. So right now, we're still slated with the holdings to earn 532% increase to net out almost $100,000. And our limit orders, if they go through, are slated at 600% total gain to average out 542 and netting out 120. So we're good for right now. We'll see what the market has for us tomorrow, but overall we're good. So again, we're looking to keep this cost basis as low as possible. Okay, looking to keep this cost base as low as possible and give us an opportunity when the market goes down that we have a couple really good candidates, and if the market goes up, hey, we'll take the gain. So I'm not really sure what I want to do as far as limit sell orders yet. The only one that I really looked at that I'm not married to or love is Signet Jewelers, AMK Jewelers, and Jared's, I think. They're doing okay. They're one of my lower return ones, even at 20%. That's still doing pretty good. But if I look at the projection, they're basically in the 400s. And everything else other than the early birds that we had when I first bought is a lot higher. So if there is one we're going to do a limit sell order, it'd be Signet Jewelers. But right now, there's no reason to act on it at all. So that being said, oh, and then one other thing that we always do, we'll go Dow futures. We'll just get a snapshot and see if the market's telling us anything about the day tomorrow. So tomorrow's looking at a relatively flat day, down 132, which is only 0.5%. NASDAQ's the same thing, and S&P's the same thing. So we see here the U.S. banks prepare for a flood of bad loans. So maybe we'll look at banks later on, but the banks ratio for kind of our upside totally sucks. They haven't dropped enough. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with the commercial REITs and see if there's any bonuses for us today. But overall, we got what we want. We got 2 limit orders triggered. Great thing to happen, and we'll see what happens in the coming days. All right, see you tomorrow.
Now, this is just a small sample of what we have in our full program. If you want to change the results you're having, you want to get rid of the struggle, and you want to actually have sales be easy, where people naturally are signing up with you all the time, and you're not really even putting in much effort, it's time to make that change in your life right now. Go ahead and click on the button below and get started in our full program. And when you do click on that button, you're going to get a full description of what we get the program. I have a couple bonuses that I want to throw your way. We're constantly adding free stuff to the program. And it's also going to talk about our full no-brainer guarantee. So click on the button below to get started now.